Yo, bruh, welcome back to my channel. Alright, so today, bruh, or tonight, it's like 12:36 for me, bruh. But, man, gotta upload, cause, like, I haven't been uploading for the past, like, 2 weeks until, like, I think yesterday. So, man, gotta upload and shit. So, you know what it is? Doing What If Deku Had All For One. Part 2. Because y'all seem to like that shit. And, yeah, so I'm gonna just go straight back into where we started. So, Deku basically, he, as I said, gives some quirks to, his, like, prison friends, because, man, they're the gang, but, he just gives them some quirks to basically let them, like, escape and shit. Because he knows the guards won't expect that shit. And, during, fucking, like, eating time, they basically take the, like, cuffs off. And, don't tell me why, but, plot and shit. So, yeah. So, Deku, basically, uh, he get the bunch of guards get him out of prison, and he's in the court canceling cuffs and shit, and Deku, his physical abilities are really good even without his um his quirks and shit, because he's been in prison for 10 years. So, like, man's pretty jacked as fuck. And he's, like, he's all for one strong, man. But, I think all for one is pretty strong without his quirks, too. No idea, but, but, so, Deku, like, the guards and soldiers and shit, basically, there's just a bunch of military vehicles, and they, basically, there's probably, I'll say, like 5 to 6 military vehicles. Because, can't be too safe and shit. And I'll say they got, like, a few heroes as well in there, just in case and shit. Because, they think heroes gonna stop Big Man Deku, but nah, I gotta stop. But, but, so, Deku and the soldiers, basically drive off. And, so I'm gonna cut to UA. I'll say it's the first day, but there's gonna be kind of a twist a little bit, since the dorms are in on the first day. They're not really doing like the quirk assessments yet, because they were basically the first day, or the day before they were going to school, they had to get their parents to allow them to go to the dorms and shit. So, and just everyone, they got all yeses and shit. And I'm going to gender swap Bakugo. Yeah, I'm gonna gender swap him. So, yeah. Like, I might do a ship on him. I don't know. I might do that. I don't know. Like, Bakugo's still like a fucking dick and shit. But, like, when, when Deku and Bakugo were younger, he was, like, Bakugo was still a dick to Deku. But, when Bakugo fell off the bridge and Deku helped him and shit, instead of, like, hating Deku even more, bruh, he kind of started to like him and hate him at the same time. So, like, it's kind of like a love-hate relationship with Bakugo and Deku. But, so the UA basically, Aizawa is just, I'll just say, yeah, Ida and, Bakugo are still arguing, and then, Unaraka doesn't talk a lot, bruh, because, I don't like Unaraka, and, Deku, like, uh, well, no one really saved her, except, like, a hero came in the last minute and saved her, so, like, she's not talking and shit, but, so, Aizawa comes in and he's like, alright, everyone shut the fuck up, your ass down, and then they do that shit. And, Aizawa, says, okay, so we're gonna be having a new student in the class. And, Ida being fucking Ida, he says, oh, who is this new student? And then, like, Aizawa says, well, he is, a guy named Zuku Midoriya. Oh, just Zuku, actually. And then he says, what, he doesn't have a last name? And then Aizawa's just like, well, his mother he hates his mother. And he doesn't like being called, Midoriya. And, like, he is, like, kinda, like, talking shit and fuck. And, before, like, Aizawa could, like, say Deku was, like, from, like, prison, basically, outside like, in the front, a bunch of armored, like, vehicles, like, military vehicles, drive up. And, basically, everyone is just, like, every student pretty much is looking out that window, and they see basically soldiers coming out of the, like, the door, and and one of the soldiers opens the door, and Izuku walks out, and Deku basically walks, like, close to the UA, like, entrance, and there Nezu's waiting for him, and Nezu says, oh, Mr. Izuku, welcome to UA. And Deku says, thanks. Like, what the fuck, this place is pretty fucking cool. And like, Nezu says, well, thank you, I would like to give you a personal tour if you don't mind. And Deku says, it's fine with me, I don't really care. And Nezu says, can you please take the cuffs off? And, the guards are hesitant. And, before they can get the key, Deku says, please allow me. And kind of basically just breaks the cuffs off. Because, Deku's pretty fucking strong, like I fucking said. So he just broke those cuffs. And, yeah, and then just gave the broken cuffs to the guard. And just basically walked in with and Nezu's kind of surprised. Because, well, nowadays, bruh, every fucking person relies on their quirks too much and not, like, actual physical abilities. Well, unless you're enhanced and, like, like, some enhancement quirk, but, So, so Big Man Deku, bruh, Nezu basically shows him around, like, the UA campus and shit, and then he basically, and Nezu takes him to class 1A, and, he walks in, and, Nezu and Aizawa says, meet your new, classmate, Izuku. And, they see kind of the prison jumpsuit and shit. And, and Ed basically kind of just runs up with his hands, going like, his hands up and won't shut the fuck up. And, basically, like, Deku just grabs him and, like, basically grabs his face and, like, just kind of just lifts him up and pins him to the wall and kind of just squeezes his jaw and, like, it turned like a bitch, bruh. And, Deku says, listen, okay, I don't want to fucking be here. I'd rather be in fucking prison, but, I kind of had a dream to be a hero, but then I got put in prison for no fucking reason because the stupid justice system. If you have a villainous quirk, you're thrown fucking prison. And then everyone's kind of shocked and shit. And Deku says, I've been in prison since I was 4. I'm hard as a fucking rock. You really want to piss me off? I'll fucking steal your fucking quirk. And everyone's confused. And you know, uh, Bakio, um, I'll say Bakio doesn't really remember Izuku at first, but then he kind of like, and then he basically, you know what, like Bakio basically gets up and says, "You've been in prison? You've been in prison all that time?" And Deku just looks at Bakio. He says, "Oh, hey, Bakio," and Bakugo is like, oh my god, bro, where, like, he's just kind of stuttering and shit. Like, he's surprised and pissed at the same time. So, like, he's like, where have you, so you've been in prison all that time? I thought you were dead. And then, like, the Deku says, well, that's where I wanted you to think. Kind of just winks at her. And, he's still basically crushing Ida's jaw. And I know now All For One's quirks and shit. And so, he has, one of his, quirks is that he can, like, see, like, he can basically, it's kind of like a computer system in his eyes where he can basically know a person's quirk by looking at them, and he can know the strengths and weaknesses of the quirk. So he kind of stares at Ida and he says, huh, you have a speed quirk, engine, uh, and that quirk's pretty fast, but like a car, you need oil. Or not oil, but a fueling system. And you could burn out. A good quirk, but it has a big weakness. And he is like, how the hell do you know my quirk? And Becky says, like I said, I was in prison. I have a quirk that I can steal quirks and give away quirks. And just and he says, I've just stolen a lot of prisoners' quirks. And everyone's kind of shook about this, and like Nezu finally is like, can you please put him down? And Deku looks at him and he says, oh, sure, my bad. And just kind of drops Ida, and Ida's just like, kind of just touching, like, the jaw is hurting. He's like, oh my god, my jaw. But, so, Aizawa says, if you please all follow me, I'll get you to your dorms, your new living space. And everyone's walking there and shit. And Kirishima walks up to Deku and says, "Wow, you got power. You got a quirk that can steal and give away quirks. That's a pretty cool quirk, dude." And Deku, Deku kind of like Deku's personality is, if you're nice to him, he's nice back. But if you piss him off, he'll kill you. Or badly hurt you. So, like, he kind of just smiles. It's like the first, only time I've ever heard that was with my prison inmates. And, like, Hiroshima was like, was it tough being in prison? And, Deku says, nah, not really, bruh. I could steal quirks, so everyone pretty much feared me. And, Kirishima and Deku, they just talk and shit. And, Aizawa says, alright, this is your new living space. And, Deku is kinda, he like walks in. They'll walk into the dorms. Aizawa like shows them the boys' sides and the girls' sides and shit. And Aizawa's like, all right, you have the rest of the day to unpack and get comfortable. And I'll just say like um, yeah. So they get unpacked and shit, and Deku don't really have much. Like he got like he decorates a little bit, but not that much. Like I mean, he got like, I'll just say Nezu like already like kind of made his room for him because he didn't have jack shit, so like because he was in fucking prison. So yeah, he basically Nezu got him, bro. But yeah, so I think Mina is like says, let's just like let's see who has the best room. And she goes to check out everyone's room, and then like she walks into Deku's, and they all walk in. They're like, "Whoa, this is really cool," and it's got like a good vibe and shit. Like it's a pretty nice room. Like, it's better than Shoto's, man. It's better than Shoto's, bro. But bruh, I got a mini fridge too, bruh. I got a lot of shit. I got a TV, mini fridge, all that shit. Nezu got him strapped, bro. But basically, uh, I'll say also, Deku, he has he basically during his time in prison, he when he was stealing a lot of quirks, he basically got a lot of like